All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 516 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And today, this Friday, is going to be all Georgia Southern football. I took a day off yesterday because I had, some content I had to create on my other channel. If anybody wants to know that, I have been, looking into the new PGA golf game for EA Sports, and just been doing some content on that. If you want to check out that content or whatever the case may be, you can click the link down in the description on my other YouTube channel where I talk about gaming. Basically, the new PGA Tour golf game is going to be coming out for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox One. So I do gaming stuff on my other channel, so that's why I was over there. And it was just a really good, piece of content and information that I was a part of, and I'm very thankful for that. Nevertheless, I'm back here for Friday. We're going to talk about Georgia Southern football. Got a lot of Georgia Southern content to talk about, so hopefully you guys will sit back and enjoy. If this is your first time here, welcome. I could be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, so you can listen to the show at your leisure. Also, this show is brought to you by BetUS. I am an affiliate of BetUS. Click that link down in the description. You could go ahead and put down $100. That $100 will turn into 125% bet book bonus. Get that bonus, and you can put wagers on all type of things where it comes to sports. NFL, I think you still got NBA going on, MMA, if that's a thing that's a event coming up, esports, all that stuff under that umbrella. So you can click that link. It helps the channel. It helps the channel grow. And on the back end, you guys will be able to put down wagers on a lot of games coming up, the playoffs and all the other good stuff this weekend. All right, got all those formalities out of the way. Let's talk some Georgia Southern football. There's a lot going on. A lot of things have changed throughout the week. A lot of additions, a lot of, celebration is going on. And we're going to start with the celebration of Paul Johnson. He's been selected to the College Football Hall of Fame. This is, I'm not going to say it's long overdue, but it's definitely well-deserved. Paul Johnson has been a phenomenal coach pretty much everywhere he's been. He's been to Georgia Southern. He's been to Georgia Tech. And I think he was at Navy at one point. I mean, just a phenomenal coach. I mean, this is a man that, know how to coach players, running the option, finding ways to expand off of that offense, getting athletes to play disciplined football. At Georgia Southern, he was able to go 62-10 in 5 seasons. I also had 2 national championships at the 1AA level. I mean, you can't ask for a better coach. I mean, to be honest, he's one of the best coaches I've ever watched do his work on the sideline. And it's just a phenomenal thing to see him get the recognition going into the College Football Hall of Fame. Not much more I need to really say about it. I mean, the man and his work and the name speaks for itself. I mean, just a phenomenal guy, well deserved. Glad to see him make it in or be selected into the College Football Hall of Fame. Definitely would like to see him be in there. I need to go into the College Football Hall of Fame. I heard it's a phenomenal place to go. I would love to go. Sometime this year, I'm definitely going to go because I heard it was a fantastic place, and we need one more coach from Georgia Southern to make it to the College Football Hall of Fame. We already know who that is, and it's a shame that Coach Eric Russell is not there yet. I mean, there's something needs to change about that. So hopefully we'll get that up and running and get that going because there's been petitions and people have been talking about it already. But today is all about Paul Johnson. Congratulations, sir. Good to see that you're getting the recognition that you deserve. Now we're going to jump over to the coaches that have been hired for Georgia Southern. Back to Statesboro is B.J. Johnson. He's been hired as the wide receivers coach. B.J. Johnson was a former player for Georgia Southern. I mean, you just can't, you know who this guy is if you know Georgia Southern football. And it's good to see him coming back to the school that he played for and actually be a coach, mentor to some of these wide receivers. You gotta understand, B.J. Johnson was in a position to where he was not necessarily I would say not necessarily primarily the target because Georgia Southern was running a primarily run first offense. But even throughout that time, he caught 93 footballs for let me get tongue tied. 93 footballs for 1,338 yards, 6 touchdowns from 2013 to 2016. So he was here through the ups and downs, but he was a part of that GoDaddy Bowl when we beat up on Bowling Green. So it was, it was a phenomenal end to his career at Georgia Southern. He went on and was coaching elsewhere, but we're excited to have him back. He's been in other places. He's been with the 49ers. He went to the University of Colorado, Texas Tech. I mean, he's been all over the place. I think he's also was at he was at Gardner Webb as one point as well. So he has some experience throughout the time of him being around football, not just being at Georgia Southern. So it's going to be really interesting to see what these wide receivers are going to learn under him because we already have a dynamic, wide receiver core here at Georgia Southern. And you saw what we did last year. It was phenomenal to watch Kyle Van Treese throw the ball all over to the receivers that we had. And it's just going to be really interesting. Our former wide receiver coach went on to Auburn, went to his alma mater, and B.J. Johnson is back as his alma mater. So it's going to be really, really cool. It's going to be really cool. I can't wait to see what happens because in year 2 of Coach Clay Helton, look like he's continuously beefing up what this organization or this program is turning into. He's really beefing it up. Last but not least, when we talk about coaches, we're going to talk about T.J. Woods, offensive line and run game coordinator. We lost our offensive line coordinator to where did he go? Louisville. He went to his alma mater. So that makes a lot of sense. A lot of these coaches going back to the alma mater and, it's understandable. But we turn around to get another phenomenal offensive line, and run game coordinator in T.J. Woods. I don't even know where to begin where you talk about all the places that he's been. He's been so many places. I could probably be sitting here for the next 15 minutes talking about it. I mean, he's been all over the place. He was at UNLV. I'm going to see where else he's been to. He's been to Wisconsin. He helped Melvin Gordon run the football very well. So if you know anything about that, you kind of get a sense of what we're going to be doing at Georgia Southern once again. Yes, we're going to be passing the ball, but the running game is still going to be prominent. I know we lost Gerald Green, but we still got Omari Arnold. We still got, Jalen White. We still got a couple of other good running backs that actually showed pretty good promise, especially in the Appalachian State game. So we're basically a pretty loaded team. We're a pretty good loaded team when you look at every facade of this team. Now we're going to also talk about the transfers because I know that's the title of the show, and we're going to talk about those guys in a few. But when you look at the transfers that we got and all these other guys that we have as well, we're definitely going to show that, last year just wasn't a fluke. Continuing other places where TJ Woods been. He's been to Western Kentucky. He's been to Oregon State. It's just a lot of places that he's been. I mean, the list goes on and on when I'm just looking at all of it. I'm just happy that this guy, TJ Woods, is here and he's going to continue to booster and beef up what we have. The offensive line was one of the best offensive lines in the country, if not the best, giving up like only 6 or 7 sacks. So now we're looking at guys that are going to continue to flourish under this offensive line coach and the staff in general. So I can't wait. On top of all the other recruits that we have already, I mean, man, it's like we're already looking really good. So hopefully that continues to flourish into something much more positive than last year. Even though we doubled our win total last year, hopefully we can double it again. If we double it again, that means we have 12 wins. So that's going to be really interesting to see. All right, definitely we're going to jump over before we get out of here. Transfer portal class of 2023. If you look at this class right here, I mean, 15 guys, and we're not done yet. Don't get it twisted. We're not done yet. But if you look at this class right here, these guys, we look like we have some really nice guys coming in from other places. We're going to start off with the top. We're going to talk about Bo Allen. Bo Allen from Tarleton State, quarterback. We also have Jalen Barton, wide receiver from Pitt. I'm really excited about that kid as well. Davis Brin, the quarterback from Tulsa. Already people saying that he may be the QB1 for the team. Probably just plugging and playing where Kyle Van Treese left off. I'm not against that. We also have Bryson Broadway from the school that we don't like to mention in Atlanta. Shout out to Georgia State, man. Shout out to those guys, man. We need to slap those guys around next year. But we took one of their players, and he's going to be on the offensive line. Devon Ferguson, phenomenal cornerback from Bowling Green. He was playing very well prior to the injury that he had. Brendan Frankie, I think I said that, or I'll just say Frank. Brendan Frankie's a kicker from Nebraska. I guess he realized once we beat him in Nebraska, he's like, you know what? I want to go down to that school in Georgia because I want to be in the winner's circle. J.C. French, quarterback from Memphis. This is really interesting because we have 3 quarterbacks that came into the transfer portal, and I heard somewhere that Coach Clay Helton say he wants to have the best quarterback group in the country. He's really trying to make that happen. Nevertheless, J.C. French is another guy that's going to not only just compete for the job, but he has 4 years of eligibility. I think him and Bo Allen does. So those guys, you're probably looking at the future of quarterbacks right there between those two. If Davis Brin does play his last season as QB1. So you're looking at French, Allen, and in my opinion, I'm still big on Colton Fitzgerald. So those are my 4 quarterbacks right now, and I like those guys. Devon Gilmore, linebacker from Gardner-Webb. He's going to be coming in as well. From ECU, we gave them Gerald Green. We got Demel Hickman in return, somewhat of a quote unquote indirect trade. Quarterback from ECU. Good to see him here. Terrion Lee Jr. from the linebacker from Texas A&M. I'm really excited that we got somebody from the SEC here. You're going to have some guys who had some type of experience watching that type of play coming into the group of 5 and coming into a team where really defensively, I think we have a pretty good defensive coordinator. He just got to get the players that he wants. And I think Terrion Lee, Demel Hickman, Devon Ferguson, start to get these guys, Devon Gilmore, starting to get these guys that really going to try to fit that mold of what Coach Will Harris wants to do. Wide receiver, Anthony Quealy, wide receiver from Syracuse. Good to see him here. I'm really interested to see what he's going to do because he has some flashes as well. TJ Smith, safety. Once again, like I talk about Will Harris, safety from Kansas State. I have a friend of mine that I follow on Twitter. He told me about this kid. He's a K-State fan. I think we got a really, really, really nice player right there out of TJ Smith. I've seen some of his work on tape, as well as who else I saw. No, he's not here on the transfer portal. I'm sorry, but TJ Smith, saw him. He looks really nice. And I want to take that back. I think it's Devon Gilmore is the guy that I saw at linebacker from those two. Their tapes are like phenomenal. You go watch their tape. Colin Springer, long snapper. I can't see what school that is, but I'm looking at it on the screen. I can't read it, but I apologize. But he's going to be here for as a long snapper. Keaton Upshaw, tight end from Kentucky. Look, 6'7" tight end. We've been talking about getting a tight end here that can catch the football. I know J.J. McCaffrey did a phenomenal job transferring from the wide receiver to tight end. He did very well for the season, and it was good to see him make that transition. Keaton Upshaw is a guy that's looked like he's going to be catching footballs all over the place. He looks really nice on tape. I saw some of the tape that he had, and he's just a big physical-looking tight end. And that's something that Coach Clay Helton really been wanting, and he got his man. Last but not least, we got Cam Williams, safety from Washington. He is one of Coach Will Harris's guys. Coach Will Harris came from Washington as a defensive back coach. So, your defensive back coach, you got Cam Williams, the safety. So, it looks like it's a really good fit. Overall, you look at all 15 of these kids, all 15 of these guys. We look like we're definitely taking the next step of what Georgia Southern football is going to be. We had a lot of scrappy, physical, athletic guys who could play pretty much any position. Now we're starting to get guys who can specialize in certain areas. Jalen Barton is a guy who can catch over the top. The guy is a phenomenal talent. I've seen him play at Pitt, catching passes from Cody Pickett. You know, did I say Cody Pickett? Kenny Pickett. I'm just showing my age right there when I say Cody Pickett, man. If you know who that is, he tell you how long I've been watching football. Kenny Pickett. Also, you have guys like Devon Ferguson. You watched his tape before he went down with it. He was like all MAC conference or all Mid-American Conference player at one point. You know, you look at Terrion Lee at the time that he did get to play at Texas A&M. You know, T.J. Smith, like I said about him, you look at his tape. I mean, the guy looks phenomenal. Devon Gilmore, another guy that looks really good. You know, and you know, Keaton Upshaw, the time that he played at not Texas, but the time he played at Kentucky. We have some really good guys here once again. And it is something that, you know, we've been wanting for a long time. When you have guys that we excelled very well at putting athletes in positions to now getting guys who specialize in these positions, it makes a really big difference, especially when you have cornerbacks who really can play cornerback. You know, we have the Tyler Brydes of the world, the Derek Cantines, you know, the Kendall Vildors. You start to see that transition where we had cornerbacks, you know, the Monquavius Brensons, you know, who's the other one? Kendrick Duncan. You know, you had those guys who we started to see on the secondary level were guys who specialize in the area. But when you look at the linebackers in the front seven, we had guys who could play almost anywhere. Now you're starting to see guys who can play that position and going to be good at that position. You know, they're going to grow at that position. We had quarterbacks who can run. We had quarterbacks who could run the option. We had quarterbacks who could probably be wide receivers. You know, we have one former quarterback now who's playing cornerback. Those are the type of athletes that we had. But now you're starting to see that we're getting really good players at those positions. From the Davis Brins all the way down to the kid that we just recruited at quarterback recently. His name just slips my mind that quick, but Kobe Walton. You know, so we're getting guys who play the positions. And it's a really good thing. Shout out to Coach Clay Helton and all the work and his staff, all the work that they're doing, not only just getting these players, but getting the right coaches back into the fold. You know, it's just great. You know, before I get out of here, I want to say this once again. Congratulations to BJ Johnson. Shout out to Coach Smith, TJ Woods. I'm sorry, and also last but definitely not least, Paul Johnson. Did I say TJ? Hold on, let me see if I got that right. I want to make sure I got that right because I know I'm doing this on the fly. Yeah, I got that right. BJ Johnson and TJ Woods, and last but not least, Paul Johnson being selected to the College Football Hall of Fame. I think I said enough for today. I want to apologize once again for not being here yesterday. I had something to do with my other channel, and that's just it was just a busy last 36 hours. It's been very busy, but now I'm here. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode, and we're going into the weekend, everybody. Hopefully, everything will continue to go smooth, and we'll be back here on Monday. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. Let me know what you guys think. I think this has just been another great week for Georgia Southern football. Even though we've been talking a little bit of Falcons or whatever the case may be, I'll put Georgia Southern on the back burner for a second. And when I turn around and do something else, Georgia Southern does all of this. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So it's just how it is, man. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click that link down in the description for BetUS if you want to check out that as well. Also, all the other stuff to, you know, support the channel. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to get up out of here. You guys take it easy. You guys have a phenomenal weekend. You guys be blessed. Peace.